how to quit your 9 to 5 and start farming. Welcome in, fam. Much love, Trav here as we go and feed the chicken yard. I'm going to be throwing the phone in my pocket and talking to you all about how to quit your 9 to 5 and start farming if it's just something you're interested in or you want to hear more about my life and how I got into this stuff. We're going to be feeding the chickens some corn. So let me go ahead and throw it in my pocket and we're going to talk about welcome in, fam. Much love, Trav here. So farming, organic farming as a career is a big major trend right now for especially millennials, people stuck in the city doing 9 to 5s, realizing like, yo, this sucks. I am not outside ever, you know. I don't get any sunlight. I feel depressed. We're doing all this work, and for what? I am doing all this hustling, and I don't like my lifestyle. I want to return to the land. That's becoming a more and more common thing. It's something that I've gotten into, that I've done. I didn't quit a 9 to 5 actually to get here, so we'll talk about my path. But I'm around people who did quit 9 to 5 to get out here, and we're talking about how to do it. And I think it's an important thing. Some of you listening to this have never even considered farming. I never considered farming, but realized like, yeah, I want to be on the land. I want to be breathing good air. I want to be working outside with a team. I want to be eating better food, growing better stuff. It makes sense. It'll just hit you. And it makes sense because for the past 11,000 years, our most common, let me show you guys what I'm doing right now. Throw on the camera. This is crazy. Birds. We feed them some grains, some corn grains, a lot of greens, and the bedding produces a lot of bugs that they can pick on. We don't really have mobile, but we've got a big yard and they got plenty of room to move. Move on to the next spot here. So a lot of our ancestors, we all descended from farmers, right? It's a normal, fun, healthy career, although many of us have been led away from the land, especially a lot of the smart, high-tech people have been told there's no money in farming, go to the city and so on. A lot of people are realizing that was a mistake and it was a lie. So for those of you who want to come back and return to the land, yeah, it makes sense. It's a common thing that I think we're going to see more and more of. So how to get into it? Well, let's start with other people's stories before I go to my own, because mine's a little bit different. Especially a lot of the men here came from tech, paid off their student loans for about 7 years, saved up a bunch of money, or invested it in stocks and Bitcoin and stuff like that, and then moved to farming. One of the reasons why is farm labor is not the most lucrative thing. Farm entrepreneurship can be. It often is not, just because people don't know how to start, because so many smart people have left it. So I'm optimistic about the market that it can be very profitable. But for a lot of people, especially starting out as a farm laborer, it's not. So it's good to have a bankroll. It's a good thing to save up for a lifestyle change. But once a lot of these people are out here, they won't go back to the old life, and they're willing to live by lower means. So I think an important key for everyone listening is you should really start working on an already profitable farm for practitioners who are successful, so that you can learn. A lot of people want to start off with their own farm, their own land. That's a mistake. That's a way to lose a lot of money. You should start off working for someone else who is knowledgeable on their land. A common way to do it, a lot of the people who came here came through the Worldwide Organization of Farmers, WWOOF, woofing is what we'll call it, woofing, that you can sign up for that and apply, find farms that you want to go to and apply to that. A lot of people do that. My path, the short version is through community gardening. There's a lot of community gardens, neighborhoods, and I started volunteering, and then that led me to a local farm and started volunteering there. And then when I came out to Hawaii for an unrelated trip, I got some extra time set aside and asked my friend who lives here where the cool, good farms were at. and got referred to this one and really like it, and I'm here. And I don't know what the plan is, how long I'll stay. I have a feeling I'm going to be in food agriculture for a lot of my life. I don't know if it will be here, but it makes sense to learn from a profitable farm beforehand. We've got like 400 chickens. Don't want to make you think it's all about the chickens though. We have, we produce like 500 pounds of organic salad greens, mixed greens a week, and sell that throughout town. Lots of root vegetables and stuff like that. Eggs, you know, we have some animals for manure and stuff like that. But how to do it, I think an important thing is to, in your area, look up community gardens, go to volunteer hours. If you like it, ask them about other places you can go. Or you can also recommend just going to local farms in your area that volunteer so you can try it out. I'm always a big advocate of trying something out before you do it all the way, because you might find out you don't like it. So, you know, you don't necessarily want to quit your job and move around the world on a hunch, because you might be wrong. So it's better to start off volunteering once a week, and then you do that for long enough and you realize, hey, this is actually it. And then at that point, you get into the ground level for someone already doing it, whooping. And I would probably recommend that even if you have like family land, family farm you can access to. You're moving around here to feed the chickens and then going to refill the feed, maybe collect the eggs. We change their water every day as well, change their bedding a couple times a year, or maybe once a quarter or something like that. A little more into my story. Well, I think this is pretty normal, but just my mom having a garden and her paying me to weed the garden and really enjoying that, and weeding the strawberries and pulling out the horsetails and stuff like that. And we have farmers in the family. I never met any of them. I never met any of the farmers. So I never considered it as a career, like something that I could even do. But once I started to meet some farmers and look at their lifestyle, I did think this is something I wanted to do, except from the part that so many of them are really poor. A lot of them work in the marijuana industry as a front, or a lot of them got rich off tech or reasonably wealthy. My story, I was a professional Magic the Gathering player and built a business coaching players, and that business still exists. So I have something to closely approximate to a passive income. At that point, it makes sense to move into farming, because what I want to do, I don't have to worry about the standard of living as much. So I think it's important to, when you look at the money, to find other ways, like secure yourself first before you go in, and then work with someone else if you can. And then later on, once you know what you're doing and you have your contacts already, then you start your own thing on your own land or shared land. You know, make an offer to one of the practitioners you're spending time with or something like that. But if you have any more questions in the YouTube comments down below, would love to hear, or the Facebook comments. But I think it's a big major thing that people need to know about, and you know, maybe you just need to garden, and that's going to be plenty for you. Just start growing something, and that'll satisfy you. For some of us, we want to get back to that lifestyle of being outside and working with the team and so on and so forth. So it's I believe it's worth it. You know, the people that I've met who have made the sacrifice to come out to the farm and come back to the land are really happy about it, even though they've given up some money. Unfortunately, I do see some people leaving the farm to go back for money because they feel like the money's not there in labor again. I think that's fixable. I don't really know exactly. I just have a hunch because I'm early into it. It seems like it can be a lot more profitable once more smarter, sharper young minds are back in the game. So, but I think an important key is secure your money first. Secure the land, secure your land as well. And Let me know what you think in the comments. If you have any questions, I'll be happy to answer. I wouldn't mind making more content on this sort of a thing later on. I'm lifting some. I've been changing, as we were speaking, I'm changing the feed, or adding water to the feed. These, the grains are better digested. You know, I will say some of you are going to critique and say birds shouldn't be eating grains. And to some extent, that's true. You know, we're not perfect at chickens. I think we're like a 6 or a 7, maybe a 7 out of 10. Whereas factory farmed concentrated chickens are like a 1 out of 10. And true pastured chickens are a 9 or a 10 out of 10. So I think we're doing pretty decent. You know, in addition to the corn like you saw, they're getting a lot of compost piles that fill up with bugs that they can eat, and they've got like a foot of bedding which fills up with bugs as well, so they get a lot of protein, get to do chicken type stuff. They're not necessarily meant to be out at pasture. Like, it's nice if you can do that, but chickens like to roost. They're homebodies, you know. They can fly away and run away, but they don't want to. So anyways, enough about that. If you found this useful or entertaining, I'm gonna make some more stuff like it. Let me show my face before I tap out of here. So, and say, well, look forward to hearing what you have to say. If you're interested in this sort of a lifestyle, just leave in the comments. And go ahead, take a look at these little baby birds here. Oh, mama bird's mad. All right, much love, peace out. Boom.